I'm auto specialist Tom Voelk for the Seattle International Auto Show, and Genesis has electrified the G80, and it's a good thing.
The Electrified is as stealthy as it is exclusive. No blue tinted trim, no faux embossed circuitry that screams this is an EV. It's completely and utterly normal, the biggest tell being the lack of pipes. Oh, and the solid schnoz. The Electrified G80 is a very appealing car, but only available in 8 states, so let's get that clear from the get-go. It comes one way, fully loaded, and retails for around $81,000, a premium of $10,000 over a comparable V6 all-wheel drive model. Even the Bay looks like a gas-powered model right down to the radiator. The dual motor setup makes 365 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of instant torque to move 5,038 pounds of steel, glass, plastic, leather, and battery. Not a true dedicated skateboard platform, the 87.2 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion polymer pack is laid out in the floor and intrudes a skosh on cabin space, robs a couple cubic feet from the trunk, too. It starts the same as the Gas 80. Booting up instead of firing up, there's a 3D quality about the cluster that my camera doesn't capture. The only EV with a geared transmission is Porsche Taycan, so this is just a selector. Remember, this is a dual-motor, all-wheel drive setup. There's a good amount of information about range, and if you should need it, charging stations nearby. Drive modes include Eco, which tames the throttle response, nice for driving relaxation, since there's a lot of instant torque happening here. The paddle on the left adds recuperation drag, the one on the right backs it off.
If you live by the 0 to 60 benchmark, this will do that in just under 5 seconds. It's pretty quick.
There's plenty of power for passing on 2-lane highways to get past slow-moving RVs. The E G80 has good giddy-up in those situations.
The heavy batteries are in the floor, giving this a lower center of gravity than the gas-only G80. When you chuck this hard into a corner, you definitely feel the weight.
That said, there's little to no body roll during cornering. Unless you're pushing it extremely hard, motions are nicely controlled.
So this has a camera that reads the road ahead and tells the adaptive shocks what's about to happen, giving this an extremely good ride quality. A little firm, but really not bad.
Even if you're not a card-carrying Greenpeace eco-warrior, the electric drivetrain is perfect for the Genesis luxury mission. At speed, the Electrified G80 is exceptionally quiet, just what you want from a luxury sedan. Stomp on the throttle and all you hear is a little bit of wind noise, and that is extremely well managed.
The projected range of the G80 Electrified is some 280 miles. It's been around 75 to 80 degrees in the Seattle area, and I'm right on track to nail that. Some EVs meet their range, others are, well, shall we say, optimistic.
This may not be built on the eGMP platform, but Electrified G80 uses many of the same components, including 800-volt charging. Find a 350 kilowatt station, and it can juice up from 10 to 80% in an impressive 22 minutes. Right now, those aren't nearly as popular as these. And many forget that charging speed depends on ambient temperature and how full the pack is. There are all sorts of variables.
Charging started.
Many don't need a robust infrastructure. It just depends on how much you road trip.
In my opinion, for the best EV experience, you really need to be able to charge where you sleep. That way, you wake up every morning to a full tank of gas. Charging speed isn't as critical in that situation. Yes, if you travel a lot, then infrastructure and speed do matter. But oftentimes, when people travel over 300 miles, they end up flying.
Obviously, gas cars have an advantage. A stop takes 5 to 10 minutes. My most common excursion is Portland, Oregon, about 190 miles away. Typically, once there, I charge while at meetings or shopping, so in a sense, there's really no time spent fueling. The interior looks just like any other Genesis G80, a very good thing, though tall folks should know that it does give up 3/4 of an inch of headroom. All of the materials are top shelf and presented in the luxury car manners that buyers should expect for 81 grand, right down to complex knurling on many of the controls. This is birch, reclaimed from furniture making. It feels as good as it looks. The Napa leather makes a baby's bottom feel rough by comparison. These seats have loads of ways to make them yours. They're heated and vented naturally. Plus, the driver's chair features a massage setting. Don't tell the passenger. The HVAC controls have their own section with dedicated knobs and an easy-to-use touchscreen. There's 14.5 inches of screen at eye level. It's easy to see while driving. Graphics are excellent and upscale. It can be controlled by this or with fingers directly. Response is excellent and the arrangement and flow are easy to follow even while driving. Compared to the gas-powered G80, there's an 1.5 inches less headroom in back. Still, all but the tallest passengers will be comfortable. In the trunk, the battery pack takes up a bit of room. There's just over 10 cubic feet of space here. If you're a skier, no need to put them on a roof rack. Seats do not fold on the Electrified G80. At least there's some room for stashing things away under the floor. Fortunately, this is sold in Washington State and well worth checking out at Hyundai dealerships where Genesis is sold. The Electrified G80 is a comfortable, powerful, and stylish way to motor about emissions-free. For the Seattle International Auto Show, I'm Tom Voelk.